Okie dokie. I don't know who's here, but we're gonna do an evening stream. Hey, Raimu. It is 5:24 p.m. I don't think I've ever started a stream at this time. Now, maybe I have. Maybe a gaming stream or something. Anyway, it's going to be a continuation of what we were doing earlier today, which is interview stuff. So let's just go to LeetCode and keep going. Hey, McGregor. No way. I know, yeah. Crazy, right? Crazy. Hey, Ramen. All right, I don't remember what we left off with, but let's just go to problems and let's start with some easy ones. Let's get back into it. What's the lock icon mean? Oh, you can't actually even see this? I wonder why. I wonder if it's so that you can't get high enough on the leaderboard without paying money. I feel like that's why they would have done something like this. Alternatively, it's something that they curated. Excuse me, or it's something that they curated so that it's got very good answers or hints or something. Absolute scenes. What, McGregor? Okay, well, we can't look at the locked ones. Is there any way we can remove those? No, I don't think so. Okay, well then whatever. We'll just go to this one. Shuffle the array. All right, so given the array numbers consisting of 2n elements in the form of a whole bunch of x's and a whole bunch of y's, return the array x1, y1. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is shuffle in a very specific manner. So if we have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, we're supposed to return it as 1, 3, 2, 4. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, they've got examples. N equals 3. Do they even have to tell you that? Isn't it always just half of the array length? Huh, yeah, looks like it. Hey, Bob Seagull. Okay, yeah, I think this is pretty reasonable. I don't think there's really anything to consider here too much. So let's just write out the answer. So we'll say const shuffled is an array, and then we'll iterate over this. So for I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So shuffle dot push nums I and push I plus n, and then return shuffle. That should be it, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's too much to this. And I'm coughing a lot. Yeah, that wasn't difficult. What's there to even discuss here, out of curiosity? What did I just click? Oh, I see. That's not what I meant to do, though. Oh, solution doesn't even exist? I see. No, okay, fine. Let's just move on. Subscribe to unlock. Okay, let's move on again. Medium. Where's... How do we get back to this? Like I said, I want to start with some easy problems. Then we'll do one more easy one, I guess. Let's do something that's not just lists. Count and say. What is that? The count and say sequence is a sequence of integers with the first 5 terms as the following: 1 ones, 2 ones, 1 2. What? Hang on a second. I don't understand this. Oh, this has a million downvotes compared to the amount of upvotes. Yeah, let's just skip this one. I don't understand the problem from what little was there. So let's keep going here. Oh, hey, square root x. We probably did that one in Rust. Maximum depth of binary tree. Let's do this one. Yeah. Yeah, this one has a much better upvote to downvote ratio. So given a binary tree, find its maximum depth. Maximum depth is the number of nodes along the longest path from root down to the farthest leaf. A leaf is node to node children. So given a binary tree, keys just fell off a hook downstairs. I don't know if you guys heard that. Given binary tree 3, 9, 20, null, null, 15, 7. This is a weird way to represent this tree because that's not even how it is in code, right? They have val left and right, yeah. Yeah, you did hear that? Yeah. I don't know how much RTX voice filters out of that sort of thing. Okay, so this one seems a little more reasonable. We will just traverse the tree and figure out the depth. So let's think of what this looks like in terms of code. So we'll have some function. I want to kind of think of the definitions. I don't want to write out real code. But get max depth, and we'll say there'll be some like node in the tree and the depth that we're at. And so depth will start at 1, yeah. And so what I think we'll do is we'll say return the max of depth and get max depth node depth plus 1, which will always be the plus 1 amount. And we need to probably say if node equals null, then return depth. So something like this, except for we don't need these. Yeah, and then we just need some code here to say what the depth is. Okay, yeah, this isn't too bad. At least I don't think so. Okay, so if the root doesn't exist, which how do we know that it doesn't exist? It'll be null, yeah. So if the root is equal, if the node is equal to null, return the current depth. Oh, except for we can't do that. So return max depth impl root. Okay. Depth equals 1. So if that's nothing, return depth. Otherwise, we're gonna say return. Oh yeah, no, I actually was correct on this. I just had this part wrong. This would be node dot left, and then we'll do another one with node dot next depth info. Yep. Node dot right depth plus 1. I know that's being covered by my head. And that's it. Run code. Runtime error. Oh, it's not called node. Whoops, it's called root. I'm just making things up. I think I named it node, right? Yeah, okay, that's why. Okay, so output is 4 and expected 3. Is this the example given here? Yeah. Maybe because I should start at 0. Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense. Because that means that if we returned just... Oh, yep, that does make sense. Okay, never mind. If you need, you're to do a whiteboard other than JS, which language would you choose? I don't know. Let's just pick a different language then for the next stuff. In fact, how about this? Let's do one more easy problem and we'll just pick a different language. So path sum, what is this? Given a binary tree and a sum, determine if the tree has a root to leaf path such that adding up all the values equals a given sum. So what do I mine from this list? Well, okay, I guess I know C++, Java, Python, C, C#, JavaScript. I don't know Ruby. I don't know Swift. I don't feel like I know enough Go to do this. I don't know Scala. And again, I don't feel like I know enough Kotlin. Probably not enough Rust, probably not enough PHP. But the other ones are all fine, I think. So let's go with Python. Nothing has Elixir. Yeah, I wonder how hard it is for them to add this sort of thing, because this is all running sandboxed somewhere. So they need another runtime for a language. If it's a process-based sandbox, it shouldn't be hard to do that. But then again, there might not be a reason to do it. Also, I guess they need syntax highlighting, which should be easy. So determine if the tree has a root to leaf path such that adding up all the values along the path equals the given sum. So given the below binary tree and sum equals 22. Whoa! I did not know Python had types. There goes that thing happening again. Python types. Yeah, here we go. Wow, so many. When did this come in? Well, okay, let me say this. I knew it had types. I didn't know you could be explicit about it. MyPy is types? Is that built in? Like, do I have this? Python import MyPy. Oh, is MyPy a runtime, not a library? 3.7? Because this, whatever I was just on, oh, never mind. What I was on was something different. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, the syntax is like a combination of, actually, it's pretty much just GDScript. Yeah, what am I talking about? Because GDScript was heavily influenced by Python. And I've been writing GDScript lately for Botland 3. Okay, so let's try to do this. I haven't used Python explicitly in a while though. So first, what's the algorithm of this? We need to find a path, and at any given point, so it's kind of like the code we had for the JavaScript one, except for this time around, we're going to be keeping track of a sum, not a depth. And we'll need to traverse the whole tree. Okay. So has path sum, we'll say like as path sum impl. So we'll just take any node, and that'll be a tree node, then the target sum, and then our like accumulator. And this is going to return a bool. And so this is just going to be return self.has path sum impl. There's no autocomplete. So we take in the root, we take in the sum, we take in an accumulator of 0. Okay, so now this function is going to be if target sum is equal to the accumulator. Actually, I like writing it the other way. If we've hit our target, then return true. Is that an autocomplete button up there? Oh boy. That's the how much does this cost? Not that I ever want to buy this. I feel like hang on, let me click the actually no, I didn't need to do that. Monthly $35. My goodness. This is one of those things where I feel like it's a product where as soon as it's met its goal, you're done using it. So that's why they probably charge so much. Yeah, Known. Are you currently looking for a job on Known? Also, hey, 85 filter. You think it's helpful? I think it's a helpful set of features, and you are looking for a job. Okay, because I was going to say, I think when you're not looking for a job, there's probably no reason to be subscribed anymore. And yeah, I feel like that's the dating site model, where once you are successful and you found whatever you're looking for, you have no reason to be on the site anymore. So that's it. So the site doesn't really want to help you meet your goals, because then you wouldn't be paying them money anymore. But they kind of have to, because otherwise you wouldn't pay the money in the first place. So if we met the accumulator, then great. If we didn't meet the accumulator, then return has path sum impl of node.left. Target sum is still target sum. We could actually just store this in the class. There's no point in doing this differently. Yeah. Target sum equals sum. There. Now we don't need to pass it around all over the place, because that's not going to change. And we don't need this. And that way we can just pass in the accumulator. So node.left, and then the accumulator is going to be whatever we had plus the current node's value, which won't work because we need to check this. We need to say accum plus equal node.val, and then do this. Or has path sum impl. Oh, and it's only to a leaf node. Ah. So then I got to get rid of this too. So if the accumulator is a target sum and node.left, I don't know how to check it to see if something's null. I think you say is none, and node.right is none. Man, Python's kind of nice. And we could keep track. Yeah, this will probably work. All right, let's just try this. Now this is, oops, I meant to type a word. This is unfortunate, and I don't have a debugger set up quickly, so I probably shouldn't use Python for future ones. And this should have been self.target sum. These are just minor Python errors. Yeah, same thing. Minor Python error. I don't count those as algorithmic errors. I haven't used Python in forever. And now node.val none type has no attribute val. Okay, so I guess we should check that. If root is none, return false. Also, we have no return false from here. Oh yeah, that's pretty good to do, right? So if node.left is not, I guess we'll just say like is leaf. How do you make, I think you just do it this way. So no matter what, we got to return if it's a leaf node. So let's do it this way. Return accumulator equals self.target sum. There. Okay, I think we hammered out the Python errors and possibly got the algorithm correct. There's a debugger right there. So I suppose what they're saying here, this is potentially that I messed up and potentially not. I'm still not totally sure. Because I already put a case for if the root is none. So this must mean, oh, I know what we're doing wrong. We only want to do this if there is a left node. So then let's just get rid of this. This is just return false. And that way we don't need any special cases. Yeah. Hey, Butlers. Less than half got this. Is there a way to see that? Oh, what am I doing? It's not called root anymore. If node is none. It's going to say that I was doing this too fast, right? Yep. Please wait a few seconds. And then, oh, in the description. Where art thou? Oh, yeah, wow. Huh. Interesting. Okay, we did it. This one's locked as well. We weren't running into this earlier. Is it because I'm doing too many problems? I don't want to spend money on this site. Is it this one solution that's locked, or is it just that I've gone through too many? I don't know. Also, does it keep my code for all of this stuff? That'd be kind of cool. How do we go to, hang on, let me see if it's doing that. My list. Oh, Alton, welcome back. Thanks for the resub. Thanks for the 11 months. Codephobia. Spend money when you're looking for a job. Sheesh. Yeah. I think if I were to pay for this at all, I'd pay for 1 month. I'm trying to figure out where I can find my old. Oh man. They have a page where you can see where you submitted things, but these aren't links to the questions for some reason. Oh, these are? Whoa, what? Every single time I submitted something, I can see a link to that specific incorrect submission? Whoa. Also, they're running tons of test cases. Wow. I had no idea. What is this stuff? Wow. That's actually pretty cool. How do you zoom this? Oh, that's up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I can always see my code, right? Where is it? Yeah, wow. Wow. All right. Good job, LeetCode. So let's do some medium problems. I will probably stick with JavaScript because I have an easy debugging environment set up for them. Hey, Malevolence. Would you keep trying to get it faster, seeing there's only 18% faster? Would you look at other solutions at this point to learn from them? So I haven't paid for LeetCode, so I can't actually see some of the solutions. But I'm not really so concerned right now about speed or memory usage. I'm concerned about just derusting. And then, yeah, I might start looking into how to optimize these things even better. The thing is, I feel like at some point you get to micro optimizations here. There are some problems where, they might tell you something like, write something that adds 2 integers. And so literally the only way you can do it is something like this is the fastest possible thing, right? And then you just have to hit the run button over and over and over to get a couple milliseconds shaved off at some point, just luck of the draw. Then there are other ones where, yes, actually using an O of n algorithm instead of an O of n squared algorithm, something along those lines would be much better. Those I think are worth doing at some point. But yeah, like I said, I'm just mostly derusting. So let's look at some medium problems. Oh, I'm already on medium. Okay, and then did we not do any medium problems? Can I see solve? Okay, we did. I was gonna say. There we go. So print immutable linked list in reverse. Oh, this is locked. We can't do this. Right? Yeah. Okay, never mind. Subrectangle queries. What are we looking at here? Implement a class. No, thank you. Let's go back to JavaScript. Okay. So implement the class subrectangle queries, which receives a rows x calls rectangle as a matrix of integers in the constructor and supports 2 methods. Update subrectangle. Updates all values with new value in the subrectangle whose upper left coordinate is row 1, col 1, and bottom right coordinate is this, and then get value. I see this has more downvotes than upvotes. Yeah, this is quite an involved problem description. Update all values. So what is this? I don't even think I understand this input. Hey, Lizardman. Sounds meh. Yeah, it does. I just want to at least understand the question first. Almost all the time that I've seen with interview problems, the questions are very easy to understand, and it's that you have to come up with something more difficult. But this time, I don't think I understand the question. So we have a very nested array, and this is our subrectangle queries. And then get value, and then yeah, I think this is probably worth skipping. They're good practices. Clients and managers will be terrible at explaining stuff. I I do wonder like what's in discuss here because I don't. Why is this one not working? Simple Java solution. So these are all just people posting their own solutions. People are doing this, I guess, because the solution tab doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll skip this one. The thing is, this has an acceptance of 90%. Is it because other people just didn't even try it? Accepted 8,700 of 9,600 submissions. No, it sounds like people have done this. I want you to overwrite a 2D section of it with a val. Oh, yeah, okay. Mindsy, that's probably correct. Yeah, they're talking about subrectangles here, and I was thinking, is this some... At first I thought, is it a matrix of just a 2 by 2 and it's always a rectangle? Okay, I see. Maybe send to us. Yeah, it just has really dumb naming. The today command talks about what I'm doing. Yeah, just more interview prep. Okay, we could do this then. Updates all values whose upper left coordinate is that and bottom right coordinate is that, and then returns the current value. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this isn't too bad. Maybe we should just ignore the example input, which looks crazy to me. So what do we do here? Get value supposed to return. Okay, I see. All right, yeah, so let's try this, I suppose. So this dot rectangle equals rectangle. And we have an array of arrays here. So this first one might be 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1, 1, 1. So this is what this would look like so far. Okay, so get value would be so return this dot rectangle. I'm just gonna call it rect. I don't want to keep typing this out. This dot rect row col, and then update subrectangle row 1 col 1 row 2 col to a new value. Okay, yeah, this doesn't seem too bad. So let y equal to row 1, y is less than or equal to row 2. And are we always guaranteed that row 1 is going to be less than row 2? Less than or equal to? Yeah, sure, so that's fine. And then for x equals col 1, x is less than or equal to col 2. And we just say this dot rect row, or whoops, y x equals new value. Okay, if that's it, then yeah, this isn't too bad. Okay, I guess that's it. So then, yeah, mine's having to give you a point. Yeah, you're right. That did seem easy. I got spooked by the crazy amount of arrays they gave you here. Hey, Fled. Yeah, hard question, easy answer. You're right. Yeah. I don't know why this is listed as as medium, but I would probably downvote this too, maybe. I feel like they could have just had a graphical description of it. Okay, well, let's move on. So we'll keep looking at some medium problems. I'll probably do hard problems starting tomorrow morning, maybe. I don't know. Medium, and we're just looking at algorithm stuff right now. Okay, longest palindromic substring. Given a string S, find the longest palindromic substring in S. You may assume that the maximum length is 1000. Okay, so what did we learn from before? We learned that we could potentially, I actually wrote some things down, so we don't need to remember what I learned. But things like this, array tips, will sorting help? Will a sliding or rolling window help? So we can analyze as we go. So the sliding or rolling window thing could be interesting here. Let me think about this a little bit. So how about we talk about what's the naive approach? So I'll paste this into here for now, and that way we can see this. Okay. So the very first thing I think of is just go for each character. So find the longest palindrome starting at that character. So basically just keep, anyway, I'm not going to write more than that. That's pretty much it. And then one small optimization would be we only need to start at strings of length equal to the longest palindrome we already found. No, not equal to, greater than. Yeah. So that's not too bad. So let's see what else could we do here. So this is, yeah. This is going to be O of n squared. Is there a better way? We need it to be at least O of n because you have to iterate over a character in the array to know that you've gotten an answer. Is there anything else we could do though? I kind of want to try at least with this. What am I coding? If you take a look at the today command, it talks a little bit about this. What we're doing today is just interview problems, and this particular one is here. 2 arrays, just one inverted and compare. Wait, how would we do that? You're saying take something like this and turn it into this. Oh. Is that? No, wait. No, this wouldn't always work, right? Because we can see here, like, they don't have to line up necessarily. Also, Mindy, do you mind? I mean, excuse me, do you mind not segmenting your messages? Yeah, okay, I'll start with this, I think. Yeah, you can't assume that the palindrome is anchored anywhere or that it's in the center or anything. So it's not, I don't think that's necessarily going to work. Thanks, Mindy. Yeah, I'll try this. I'll try this for now. This is one of the things that I think in a real interview is a little bit difficult because you have to determine, is this good enough? All it is English right now. So like assuming we had perfect code, that the interviewer might say, okay, how could you make it better? And you should be able to determine that ahead of time, how you can make it better. So I thought of an optimization for this that'll speed up, it'll cut out a bunch of iterations for us, but it's not an order of magnitude faster or anything. But still, let's try it. Okay. So this is what we said we were going to do. Yeah, Juices, I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody learns something, including myself. So I is less than s dot length. We got to get used to writing this out. And then we have a starting character and find the longest palindrome starting at that. So we're going to say like longest palindrome so far equals 0. Or like, I should say length of, actually I should just store both. Yeah. I'll say like solution details. We could actually just store the longest palindrome and then just keep doing dot length on it. Yeah, just do it that way. Okay, longest palindrome so far. We'll just compute the length for now instead of storing them both. It actually would behoove me to know how does JavaScript internally store the length of a string, because it's possible that it's always achieved in constant time, and I don't actually know what the answer is. Because some languages, when you do length on something, it'll actually count everything, and others will just know, oh, well, here's how much memory we used, so just return that divided by the number of bytes per character. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll just call that length on it for now. So let's see. We get a character, then we find the longest palindrome starting at that character, and we need to only start. So let's do this part for right now. So we'll say is palindrome, and this is a palindrome if the reverse of it is also a palindrome. So I guess the way we could do that is like return s equals s dot split dot reverse dot join. Oh, there's an easier way to do that in JavaScript. So how about we just we type all of this stuff over here. Temp LeetCode. What's this one called? Longest palindromic substring. Longest palindromic substring. I like putting a link to it in here. Oh, that's how that happens. Okay. Actually, what in the world? I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I know. It turned it into code. Got it. I think it was treating it as a label, which I think actually exists in JavaScript. Oh no, I don't mind backseat coding necessarily. Boop. Well, I'll read your message at the end of this. I haven't actually processed it, so I'll just write it down and remind me at the end of it. But yeah, I don't mind. What I was doing on Friday was just completely ignoring chat while I was solving a problem. And now I don't necessarily mind if I end up reading chat or not. Okay, I'll copy paste it for later. Yeah, so let me at least test this out. So console.log is palindrome 13531, and we'll just test that. So true. Now let's put a 2 at the end. Good. Okay, cool. So as far as I'm concerned, that part's okay. Now what we'll do is we'll just go through every single character, which we don't eventually have to do. So we can say I plus 1, j is less than s dot length, j. And so we want to keep adding to a string. Let stir to check equals I. Blueberry King, thank you for the 23 months. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in right now. And thanks, CEO of Coronavirus. Yeah, I'll write it down. I appreciate that. So string to check plus equal sj. And then we want to check and see if it's a palindrome, which we can't actually do if it's even, right? No, actually, you technically can, because AA is a palindrome. Yeah. But this brings up an issue, which I don't think I realized before, which is that it might not be a palindrome until we've searched all the way to the end of the list. So you might have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can't just check the first two characters and then conclude it's not a palindrome. So does this mean we have to check everything and there is no optimization exactly? Well, okay, for now, again, let's just come up with a naive solution. So if that's a palindrome, string to check, I guess as soon as, no, yeah, okay. Then longest palindrome so far, and string to check dot length is greater than longest palindrome so far dot length. So as far as the naive solution goes, I think this will work, but I don't have an optimization for this. So let's paste this in and at least see if it works, and then let's try to come up with something better. Because I think this is going to be slow. Input A, output blank. Oh yeah, okay, let's fix that. Longest palindrome so far equals S0. And if S dot length is equal to 0, return an empty string. It didn't actually say what to do in that case. Or at least I'm saying it didn't say what to do. Maybe it did. Maybe I just didn't read it. Time limit exceeded. What a shame. Yeah. So we're gonna have to come up with a better way to do this. Unless I just click submit again and it magically works. Hey Jez. Yeah. So we will need to come up with a better way. Now, I do wonder, would we have gotten this? So let's pass this in and just see what happens. So there we go, longest palindrome so far. We run that. It'll probably take forever. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so how do we improve this? Also, I don't know for sure if that's correct, but so now we're searching absolutely everything. Is there some way we can cut out searching? And I'm thinking out loud right now. I will actually read chat in a bit, but I want to think to myself for a bit. So is there some way we can cut out some of the search space here? So let's see. Because like I said, I don't think you can conclude that this will never be part of a palindrome because you might find. Well, no, if in the middle, oh, what if you started in the middle, I guess? I guess you know that the first characters won't be part of a palindrome if the middle of the string isn't a palindrome to begin with. So yeah, that's my hunch for right now. What if we started the middle of the string? Started from the middle, now I'm here. That's very quick, Murdoch. Thank you for the resub. Yeah, okay, so this is my hunch right now. Let me go read what Codephobia had written up here. You could search for characters that have the same letters on either side, or two of the characters next to each other, turn the positions, work out from them. Yeah, okay, I guess, yeah, that's interesting. That's not necessarily the middle of the string, it's the middle of a palindrome, and the palindrome could be anywhere. Kind of feel like you should be able to scan forward, scan backward when you have a potential palindrome, resetting your backward point. Feel like you might skip over something useful if you do that naively. You signed up for LeetCode? Did you not even know you had it? Are you just paying money for it? Do middle out compression? Yeah, so I think this is the way to do it then. Or maybe not. Oh, they have capital letters in here too. I wonder if that's actually part of the problem. They didn't say anything. Okay, then yeah, let's try it. Let's try it that way. So here's my naive approach. I guess it's not worth saving. I'm like, who cares? So we're gonna start in the middle of something, which could be anywhere. Actually, we know it can be anywhere. Yeah. So it's just start on any given character and work outward as long as it's the same. But we need to cover palindromes of length 2. So string check equals SI. How would we handle a case of length 2? So we need ABB to return BB. And we need some special handling for that based on what I'm planning on doing here. Yeah, we could just always search the character to the right. So go outward and also search the characters to the right. Would that work? So what happens if we have BBBB? I guess as long as the adjacent characters are all the same. No, but then there might be A's on the end, right? So we get this one. It's not going to find a palindrome here. It's not going to find a palindrome. Well, it could. So we need this to return the whole string. Okay, you know what? I think, let's see. Maybe we figure out that it's not an odd index. And when it's not an odd index, we lump in the second character with it. And then that should be enough? Yeah, that might be enough. So 0, 1, 2. When it's an even index at the beginning, we could lump in the character to the right. Just say the next character. But then, yeah, No, wait, no. Would that work? What happens if we have this then? C, C, and then this is an E and an F. 0, 1, 2. So we're not going to lump that one in. Maybe we try both. We may also have to try slurping both characters. Slurping. How's the day of LeetCode gone? Well, I ended the stream earlier a little abruptly, and I felt a little bad about that. So I wanted to stream a little bit more. I think that sequence is either even or odd, so you can work from the edges of those. No, wait, you don't necessarily know that, right? If you have this, for example, and you're looking starting from here, so I guess we just reverse this, B, C, B, A. Yeah. So there, if you are starting here, you can't just say, well, the next character has to be part of the palindrome. It actually isn't in this case. Although you'll find out eventually. Yeah, A5, you might be correct about this. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do a special case for this or what. I think it's a little hard for me to picture whether this is going to work. So in this case, it's just BCB. In this case, it's not the whole string anymore. It's CBC. So I'm thinking as we start here, it's not a palindrome. We start here, it's not a palindrome. We start here, we need to know that it's a palindrome. But this is the like radiate outward method, which works just fine. But when we do it here, the whole string is a palindrome. But we can't radiate outward equally to find out. So this is the case that I don't have coverage for. I wonder, yeah, first need to lump the next character in and then radiate outward. We also need to check it without that character lumped in. So we'd have like 2 searches for each one of these. Find the palindrome on the first BB, but you find it when you hit the A. Starting palindrome of BBB, which radiates out to that. I need to still think about that. Hey, Maro. Hey, Simuleus. Thanks for the raid. How'd your stream go? And what's this? Yeah, I know. I don't think I've really done an evening stream in like 2 or 3 years, probably. We start bringing the 2 pointers one to another and end up seeing that isn't a palindrome. Just continue with the original positions we remembered. Yeah, I think what you're saying is probably correct. By the way, for anyone who just joined from Simuleus' stream, we are doing technical interview prep. So basically just going through LeetCode. And these are much simpler algorithms than the kind of thing you'd probably see on Simuleus' stream. So, but it's been a long time since I've just done these kinds of problems. I feel like the longer you go without doing this, the more out of practice you'll fall. And that's generally true of a lot of things in life, that if you what's the saying? If you don't use it, you lose it. But with interviewing, I feel like it looks like it should be part of dev, but it's not really part of dev. Cool to post your idea of a solution as a coach. I'm like, yeah, you can do that. Yeah. I won't open it until I've thought about this a little bit more. So let me read what 85 said here. Well, there are 2 85s in chat, I guess. 8500. So 2 pointers, one on 0 position, second on 1 position. Increment the second until it becomes the same as the one which started. Okay. Then remember the positions, increase the first one, decrease the second one, and so on. If we start bringing the 2 pointers one to another and end up seeing that it isn't a palindrome, we just continue. Oh, I think you're suggesting that we do the opposite of this. Oh, which is actually potentially even more interesting. So we start here and we compare from the end of the array and we just work our way inward. And so if we had a bunch of garbage on the side of this, like we had QWE and over here we had RTY. So we start here and we start here. And then we'd shift inward. But there could be oh, because they're gonna have the same characters. Yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I'm gonna try this out. Any tips for beginners? So I'm trying to build these up kind of as I go, and I had done this the last time I seriously practiced for interviewing was probably about 5 years ago. No, actually, it was longer than that now. It was mid 2014, I think. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and there were things that I learned as I went through. So I would say the most important thing is identify patterns, and if you're stuck, there's a lot of different strategies you can try. So things like break it down, like change the problem, change the constraints of the problem to see if it illuminates any ideas. So for example, it might say, okay, you're given an integer and you're like, okay, well, what if we only made it positive integers? Does that make the problem any easier? So yeah, break it down could be, hey, you've got 100 integers. Now you only consider five, maybe. Try an example of the problem. Cry. Yeah, and a lot of practice, of course. But the identifying patterns thing I think is really interesting. So we'll say like palindrome tips. Try working from both ends is a general tip. But yeah, with arrays, I wrote like, will sorting help? Will sliding rolling window help? Hey, Zachary. Yeah, so I think this is a great idea. I don't think I gave 8,500 a point. There we go. And let's go test this out. Yeah, I think those are good. Plana. Hey, Siphon. Is this high level interviews for software engineers? I wouldn't say this is high level. I would say this is lower level because this is technical. And the high level is probably going to be something more like design a system. So you architect something, what technologies will you use, why will you use them? That's probably a much higher level interview question. But I think that would probably only happen depending on the seniority of the job you're applying for. Okay, let's try this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to say let like left index is 0 and let right index equals. What happens actually if we shift these in a different order? No, they just have to be. Like, we have to like peek a character in order to see if this will work, right? Because if I have a string like A, B, C, A, so it'll detect that the A and the B or the A and the A are the same. So we'll say, okay, this could be a palindrome. And then it will find that it's not, and it'll try advancing to the B. But I gotta make this actually be a palindrome. So this way. Yeah, this way. So it'll detect that the B and A are not the same, so it'll advance the A. No, I guess that works. I guess I'm trying to come up with an example that breaks what I'm trying to do, but I can't think of it. Yeah, this way. Oh, okay. So we'll say we have like our left hand is on A and our right hand is on B. And then as we move inward, now we have our left hand on C. And so we have a cursor here and a cursor here. We're going to detect these are not the same. We're going to say there's no palindrome here. That's because we moved the left index inward instead of the right index inward. So ACA is the longest palindrome here. So that's why I was saying we kind of need to peek and try both. And if one of those is okay, so let's sort of test that out. So s dot length minus 1. And now what we want to do is let's just say while true for right now. So left char equals s left index and right char right index. And if left char equals right char, then we would just do this again. So keep drilling down. But if they're not equal, then we need to do something a little different. And yeah, and let's also keep track of longest palindrome so far. Yeah, and now here's where we would start to, this should just be a recursive function, I think. This is JavaScript that I'm using, yeah. How time consuming that solution for super long strings. It hopefully wouldn't be too bad. I think it would be bad if there are a lot of like false positive palindromes, these kind of mini palindromes that exist, but then are wrong in the middle. But it should be faster than the way I was doing before, at least. They might have meant, is this representative of what you'll see in actual interviews? Yeah, I think this is representative of some interviews for sure. And some you'll get coding questions, and some you won't necessarily. Well, kind of depends. So keep drilling down. Do I want to do this? Because we need to keep the same thing. Let's just do it iteratively for right now. So we'll say L equals left index, R equals right index, and then we know they're the same, so I guess we check if the whole thing's a palindrome, which means we need to get a substring of this, which I don't actually remember how to do in JavaScript. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. A dot substr. So can we just say like 3, 3? Yes. Okay, and is substring the one that lets us specify the end bound? Yes. Okay, so let's just do substring then. So we could say s dot substring left lr if is palindrome substring and substring dot length is greater than the longest palindrome, then longest palindrome so far equals a substring. And actually, at this point, we would just be done. So we could break out of whatever loop we're in. So I'm going to make another infinite loop here. We're going to try this out. Yeah, because we're going to be shrinking these indices. So we'd just be finished, because if we're going to shrink it, then the only palindrome we find after has to be shorter since we've shrunk. So then what we do is we say L plus plus and R minus minus, but not both at the same time. Yeah, and that's where I'm not totally sure how we're going to do this. This is why I was using this example. So we said A and B are not equal, although we'd have something like this. So D, the D's on the end are equal. So we're gonna drill inward. I guess we need something like this. So we're gonna drill inward, and we're not gonna match the characters inward. So we're just gonna give up. No. I don't know if this will work. Is there a max length to the palindrome? The max length I think they said would be like 3,000. No, 1,000. So that's the max length. I don't think what I'm going to do is going to work. Because this idea of working our way inward, we're kind of trying to do this for every string. I don't think that's a good idea. So I think the way of starting at the center of a string and radiating outward, I think is better. Yeah. Yeah. Drat. Okay, let's just comment all of this out. And let's start again. Now, the beginning of each of these is kind of always the same. So we're going to try the radiate outward method. I still have code? Yeah, here. Okay, so let's just start with the easiest case of the one where we radiate out symmetrically. That should be fine. So we're going to say while true string to check. We don't even need to do it that way. Yeah, we could just do it this way. Or we could say, yeah, this is fine. So const adjacent character. No, we need two indices. What am I doing? Let L equals I, let R equals I. Okay, now for, I guess we could have just put those both over here. This is actually I minus 1, and this is I plus 1. And then L is greater than or equal to 0, and R is less than S dot length. And then S, that's not supposed to be a semicolon. L minus minus R plus. Okay, so if they're equal, then we would say that the palindrome's length has gone up by 2, essentially. So we could say like longest palindrome so far. And I guess we just say an R minus L is greater than longest palindrome so far dot length. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is not exactly right. Yeah. So we don't need this anymore. All right, I think. Hey, Fest. All right, I think this is something, but like I said, I think this is a very narrow scenario that we have. I want to try this out. So longest palindrome, this should return, we know it should return Ranyar or something like that. Where is that? This is exactly what it should return. And we know that because we did the brute force solution. So we're going to go test that out. And that clearly didn't work. What am I doing wrong? Well, let's debug this. Inspect break. Oh, I already have the debugger open from earlier. Nice. And yeah, I'll take a look afterward. Okie doke. Here we go. So we're starting at, okay, never mind. We're starting at C. This is going to be pretty obnoxious. I guess let's figure out where, let's just take a look and see if this is working, actually. All right, cool. So now L is going to be 0, R is going to be 2. Okay, and R minus L means that length is going to be wrong. It's actually R minus L plus 1. Yeah. Hey, Avery. Yeah, I know, right? I'm finally streaming in the evening. Oh, that's a tiny fix. This doesn't really do a whole lot for us. Where is this in the string? Is it the first R by any chance? Yeah, it is. Cool. So then let's just search for that. No, you know what? Let's just not test with such a long string. I was going to say, let's put a conditional breakpoint, and we don't need to do that. We could just say, let's get the longest palindrome of A, B, C, B, A. There. Try and tell me that's wrong now. It's wrong. That's actually not what I meant by try and tell me that's wrong. So let's try to figure out what's going on. So as I mentioned, this is only going to work for a very narrow case. So this will work when I is, let's delete some of these things. Let's put in I, let's put in L, let's put in R, let's put in SL and SR, and longest palindrome so far. Whoop. That looked like it was going to autocomplete, but I guess I didn't press the right key for that. There. Okay, so I only care when we get to I equal to 2. So check this out. You can right click a breakpoint. You can just say I equal to 2 and then just hit the play button. And there, now I is 2. And so we start outward from there. Right, okay, good. So we have B's on either side. That's good. Now longest palindrome so far is going to be set to BC. Oh, we have to say R plus 1. I apparently don't know how substring works. 3, 6. Should have been 3, 7. It's easier to test like this. 0, 2 gives us 2 characters. Yeah, so we need to do +1. Whoopsie doodle. All right, I'll check that out too, Mindsy, after I've had a chance to look at this. This is a new lane. Everyone's facing their solutions. All right, this worked. Now let's change these to E and F, and it should find BCB. Good. Now let's change it to be at the beginning of the list, so ABAFF. Yep, cool. That's working. Motobo, welcome back. We have a special welcome for 18 months. Thanks for resubing. Oh, and CEO, welcome to you. You're a student now. Sorry for the poor unreadable string indexing code. Okay, yeah, well, mine's definitely not going to pass for right now, so I do need to make it work in this case. So this is going to fail, right? Yeah, it finds BBB. It needs to find the entire string. So this is where I was saying I need some special code. So far, I think this solution is pretty clean, but it's also incomplete. Yeah, the big O of this is O of n squared so far. And I don't think it's going to ever not be O of n squared. Although, no, I feel like there has to be an O of n squared solution. Okay, so how will we do this? When we're here, we want to find the next character and then try. And then try radiating. Is there some way that's going to cause it to fail? Like, one of the things I'm wondering is, could I have just done this? Could I have just said that? And then would this work? Yes, it would technically. All right, I want to see if this is at least fast enough to run over here. I kind of cheated. We should genericize this so that there's no duplicated code. But I want to see if it at least runs in time. It's technically wrong answer. Expected A, and we outputted the whole thing. Well, excuse me, princess. what were we supposed to? How did I mess that up? Yeah, wow. Well, that's what the debugger's for. Am I studying for a specific interview? No. I've got the today command that talks about that. 8500. I'm going to try this way for now. And then I'll have to see. So what is causing the longest palindrome to... Let's just put breakpoints there and there. I think that'll be fine. So A... Ah, right there. Okay. So it's... L is -1 and R is 4. And we determine... Oh, I never even called my is palindrome function? Oh my god. I'm not even checking for palindromes at any point. Oh, what a laugh. Yeah, so I guess let's just put this here. If is palindrome. Is this. Oh man. Okay, let's put that same thing over here because I don't feel like making this look better. We're gonna try submitting that, see if this works. You can do it, code. Time limit exceeded. Okay. Well, if I lump this in, so I lump these two ifs or the for loops together, then I'm not at least iterating more than I have to. But I never figured out what makes that case work. We're at an even position. I don't think that actually matters. I bet you could probably... No, actually. Hmm. Okay, I want to take a look at something. There are hints. I want to read the hints. How can we reuse a previously computed palindrome to compute a larger palindrome? Well, if we know that X is a palindrome and then we add the same character on either end, we know that that's also a palindrome. Oh, wait. Oh, that's why I'm not calling it as palindrome, because I'm implicitly doing that. Drat. Drat, 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 drat. Yeah, that's why. I'm just not thinking. Okay, so there's that, but then this code messes up and I never figured out why. So if the characters are equal, and is it coming from this block of code? BBB. No. Where's the string that I was supposed to? No, no, no. I don't want to look at the solution. No, I don't want to look at any of this stuff. I just want that one test case. Oh man. At least you're a strong hire in our hearts. Imagine if you got that mega feedback from a company. You touched our hearts, but not our computers. Thanks. Thanks, company. Expected BB. Yeah. So this is. I'm not gonna get this, am I? Click view next to last executed input. I think that was for the very long answer. But I wanted the one for the time before that, I think. Did it ask you to check if it's actually a palindrome? Yeah. But I'm doing it via a different method. It doesn't require me to call the function that I have. Sadly, we do not wish you to touch. Hey, I'll check your links in a bit. I got like 4 solutions from you guys, and I do want to take a look, but I want to. Maybe I'm just like way off base here. So this one, it says that I'm just finding C, and I'm guessing this is what would cause me to find the correct thing. Yeah, except for then I had this solution, and then something else happened. Yeah, because of this input. Okay, and then this is what I wanted. So this is the problem that I had from before. And I wanted to figure out if I cut this out, would that make it give me the right solution? No, it wouldn't. So it's coming from this section here. And I don't actually have an answer for why, so let's debug this. Yeah, my breakpoints got messed up. Also, this is, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Okay. So 1 time, 2 times, and now in here. So A and C are not the same, so this should fail. And then B and D, again, not the same, but then it gets to A and A. Oh, we need a break as soon as that happens. Aha, aha. If SL is not equal to SR, continue. No, it can't even continue. It's just got a break. Yeah. Okie dokes. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's happening. Does it work? 6. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, because I cheated. I was wondering how I got that to work. Yeah, I never. Okay, okay, okay. So I did not finish. I didn't finish consolidating these. Will I be applying to the big tech companies? Yeah, I just finished that today. Yeah. Okay, so the only problem that I had is that these two things look very similar, and maybe I need to do them this way, in which case all I would do is probably just make a function out of this stuff. All right, well anyway, I'll look at what you guys had. So longest palindrome, we have this palindrome is that I equals 1, or is j equals 1, j is less than the rest of this. I minus j is greater than or equals 0. I minus j. Oh, I see. You're iterating. over the whole thing, and then your inner loop, you're always iterating over the first character to the end. Oh no, minus I. I see. I see. I see. I see. So you're doing the radiate outward thing as well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. But yeah, this is the problem that Mindsy was talking about, right? Which is that an even length palindrome won't end up working for this. And this is what Mindsy was saying. While Si equals Sj plus 1, and J is less than S length. So yeah, this is the part that I couldn't wrap my head around, which is that as long as they're the same character, we can keep adding to this. And then what does expando do? Ah, the radiate outward test. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let's take a look at these. This is CEO of coronaviruses. This is what language is this? I want to say it's Rust or Golang. I can't tell. Go code. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay, so what do we have here? So longest palindrome, even length palindrome. Okay, base head, base tail. And if the length of odd string is greater than the length of even string, return this. Okay. And it's greater than or equals 0, 10, something. That's head plus 1. By the way, is Go one of the choices you can have on this? Ah, yeah, it is. Okay, and this passed everything? Don't apply to any senior palindrome developer jobs. But my name is Adam13531. Okay, I see. Why is this here twice? I don't think that's needed. Yeah. Hey, artsy. I prefer JS to Python. I mean, I do. I don't really care too much about the language, but one thing, are you able to do this? One thing I really like is having an easy development environment set up, and I've already got that set up for Node pretty well. So I've got a code formatter, I've got a linter, I've got syntax highlighting, and I've got a debugger. And the debugger is the most important part for these kinds of problems, I think. And I don't have that for Python unless I have PyCharm installed, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what you use for debugging Python outside of an IDE. I never used a command line debugger. I also don't like command line debuggers. The last time I used WinDBG when I was working at Microsoft, and I was not a fan. That had a graphical component to it, but I still felt like I was typing a lot of stuff rather than just clicking buttons. I wasn't a fan for other reasons than that, actually. I don't really mind if I'm typing stuff. Okay, well, that took a long time. And I think the important part is that I didn't come up with the answer. And I need to come up with the answer. So I think this part about palindrome tips, try working from both ends. Consider radiating outward from a point in a string, since a palindrome is really just a bunch of nested palindromes. Yeah. Oh, I never looked at yours. Sorry, Codephobia. I knew there was something else I was forgetting. Yeah. So let's take a look. So are you calling your is palindrome function? Okay, what do we have here? The lesson measured on the length of I is greater than 0 and I is less than the end of the string. Message I minus 1 equals message I plus 1. Middles dot push. And then, okay, so you're finding all the ones that have a size 2 or 3. And those become all the middles, and then you go through every middle. Honoring the message on substring. Okay, so I think the concept is interesting. I know you said it wasn't complete. The concept is interesting, which is find the blocks that can become palindromes and then try the radiate outward method. Hey, Ender. Yeah, but I think the general idea of radiate outward is the whole point of this particular problem. Yeah. Did I apply to them with referrals to boost your chances? Yeah, I think Microsoft, Amazon, Google I applied to all with referrals. And I don't want to work at Facebook. And is there anything else I was thinking about? Can't remember if I applied to Twitter. But I'm not sure if I want to work for Twitter. I don't know what else is out here that I was thinking about. But yeah. Okay. There's something that was on my mind that I want to write down. So, no, I know what it was. I want to click this and I want to look at the other hints. I know we already did it. Yeah, okay. We use brute force and check whether every start and end. Can we reduce it to O of 1 by reusing some previous computation? Yeah, that was pretty clever. I mean, Smacks, it's very hard to answer this question. So, in general, I think the short answer is yes. I think that there are companies that I'm like morally opposed to working for, and I don't want to talk about a lot of these, but I'll just give you a quick example. Facebook's one of them that I don't want to work for what I would consider ethical reasons. There are a lot of other ones that I would probably consider not working for for ethical reasons. So, like, just to give you an example of something, let's say there was a company out there that was like, we're trying to suppress human rights or something like that. I'd probably be like, okay, not gonna work there. So, yeah, without naming any other specific companies, I kind of feel like that's where I stand on this. So I don't plan on applying to Facebook. And what was very tough is Facebook bought the Oculus company, which is probably called Oculus. I don't actually know what they're called, but whoever made Oculus, they bought that company, and that'd be really cool to work for. But they report to Facebook, so it's like, I think that's off limits too. Hey, Hilchuan, how about Twitch? I've heard bad things about Twitch. I don't know. I'd really have to consider that. I also don't think they have any remote jobs. At Valve, I think would be fine to work for. Is getting blacklisted if you do badly on an interview thing? I don't think getting blacklisted in the industry. I think that one company might be like, we don't want to hire this person. Depending on the size of the company, by the way, I don't know if it's worth giving people a second chance within a short amount of time. So if you're applying for Google, for example, and you apply in January of 2019 and you don't succeed, you can probably apply again in January of 2020, and Google's not going to be like, well, you already failed once, so you're going to fail forever. There are some people who take 2-3 times and then they finally get into the company. But if you're a small company with, let's say, 5 people, they're probably not going to want to interview you again, because if they already spent the resources once, they probably don't want to spend them again. They have a 6-month? Okay, yeah. Facebook's open source is yeah, that's another interesting point. Because something like React, I still feel like it's providing value to Facebook, and in the end, I feel like I don't want to do that. But that would be a very tough decision, because I think there are a lot of smart people working on React. Okay. So let's get back to question. You know, let's try a hard question. Okay, out of curiosity here, if we just go to the last page, the lowest acceptance rate is 14.4%. I'll have to take a look at this. How many people upvoted this? How many downvoted it? Lots of downvotes. Okay, let's just read the question. Password is considered strong if it has at least 6 characters and at most 20, contains at least 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, 1 digit. It must not contain 3 repeating characters in a row. Write a function that takes a string and returns the minimum change required. So there's this thing, what's it, Levinson distance? Is that what it's called? No, it starts with an L. God, if you know what the name is that I'm trying to come up with, that probably sounds very funny to you. I know it starts with an L. Autocorrect distance algorithm. What's it called? There's a name in it, right? Levinstein? Okay, what did I say? Levinson? is that the last name of a character in The Office? Because I was just watching an episode of that. What's her name? Melora. I don't know anybody's name. Jan Levinson. Yes. Okay, so that's where that came from. So let's look this up. Yeah, Jan. Okay, so Levinstein distance. I think this is what I've never actually coded this or anything. Distance between 2 words, the minimum number of single character edits required to change 1 word into another. Okay, so it's named after Vladimir Levinstein. So is that what we need to do for this? Returns the minimum change required to make S a strong password. If S is already strong, return 0. Insertion, deletion, or replace of any 1 character. Do they mean the minimum number of characters required? Out of curiosity, I'm just going to return 0. Yeah, they must, because they have a 0 here. Yeah. Wow, this is probably tough. But I don't know if I want to try this one. Melora Hardin, yeah, okay. So thank you guys. Let me give out some points here. Master, you were pretty close. Yeah, the quality of the question being upvoted, downvoted. That's why I don't want to necessarily try that one. I do want to start with a hard problem that has a few more answers. So like this has a pretty good acceptance rate. So I can't do that one. That one's locked. Okay, this one we could though. And what does this mean? That it has a solution? Okay, so on a 2-dimensional grid, there are 4 types of squares. 1 represents the start. There's exactly 1 start. 2 represents the end. There's exactly 1 end. 0 is walkable. -1 is not walkable. Return the number of 4 directional walks from the starting square to the ending square that walk over every non-obstacle square exactly once. Okay, so could we do a depth first search for this? So basically, you have a tile map. I'm not going to draw this out, so bear with me here. And you have an S. I'm not going to draw it nicely, is what I mean. You have an S and you have an end, and then you have some like obstacles in here. So this might be an obstacle, and this might be an obstacle. And so you have to turn the number of walks from the start to the end that walk over every non-obstacle square. So this wouldn't have any answers actually, unless we did one of these. And I don't know, let's say there was a path like this. So this wasn't actually an obstacle. So yeah, you'd have something like this. And you'd probably have something that goes, I don't know. Can you scan move to? Code it for a project once. Is it difficult? Interesting. Okay. And Thoros, good evening. Thanks for the resub. Hey, Crazy Tech. Okay, well, I think we should try this out. The number of 4-dimensional walks. Yeah, I feel like this is basically okay. So here's I have so many starts to my sentences, but I have no actual sentence yet. I have a lot of ideas going through my head. So we do DFS first count number of non-obstacle tiles. That's our goal. And then DFS to get every path. Actually, it doesn't matter what kind of search we do. DFS to get every path from start to finish. And then count number of paths whose number of nodes is equal to non-obstacle tiles. I think that would work, and I don't think this is too hard to do. So I think we should try it out. What does our input look like? It's a matrix. Okay, yeah, I think this is probably fine. So I'm gonna make a class so I don't need to pass these things around anymore. Well, we'll say like grid searcher, constructor, grid, start grid equals grid. So we'll say grid searcher equals grid searcher, and then return grid searcher dot compute solution. Okay, so where's our start tile? 1 represents the starting square, 2 represents the ending square. Okay, so maybe we should get this here. So for let y in, or let, what am I doing? Y is less than grid dot length plus plus y. Do we know the, I guess we just figure this out. Height equals grid dot length, width equals, and then we can return 0 if there is no, like if grid dot length equals 0, return 0. There. Although I don't know if they're going to ensure that 1 is less than or equal to grid dot length. Okay, so then this is impossible. So we don't need to worry about that. Yeah. Okay, so width then is grid 0 dot length. So this is the height, and let x equals 0, x is less than width, plus plus x. I don't know if I necessarily have to do this. I am doing this, but that might not be a good idea. So we're going to say if grid yx equals 1, then that's a start. This dot start equals x, y. And if it's equal to 2, it's the end. Okay, so all we did is compute the start and the end, and then we should also count the number of, is that like num walkable tiles equals 0, and if grid yx equals what, 0 is what we can walk over, then number of walkable tiles plus 1. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do is put this is here. Not that it matters, but if we ever copy paste code, that way we'll still have access to that and not rely on the parameter being named grid. All we've done so far is find the start and the end. Next, we'll need a get neighbors x, y that's going to return, or like get walkable neighbors. That's going to return the immediate adjacent tiles, assuming there's zeros. So we'll say like get tile at x, y, return this dot grid y, x. Okay, so, and if it's out of bounds, we don't want that, I guess. So we'll need to check this. So if x is less than 0, or x is greater than width, greater than or equal to width, or y is less than 0, or y is greater than or equal to height, then return null, otherwise return this. Sounds good. So the walkable neighbors are going to be up, get tile at x, y minus 1, and then 3 more directions. I'm not looking at chat right now. I want to see if I can get this without doing too much. So far, all this has been is coding. I haven't tested anything yet. So if up is not equal to null, then neighbors dot push up, and the same thing for the other directions. Okay. So this is the walkable neighbors, and then we just need to compute DFS. Okay, so how does DFS work? We take a starting node and we push all the neighbors onto a stack. Showing depth first. We're gonna keep popping. Yeah. So const unseen neighbors. But then how do we mark that a node is seen? Because we don't want to keep going between two different tiles over and over. We typically do this by by either keeping track of the grid, not as numbers. You know what we could do? We could mark them as seen by just making it a different number in the grid if we want to. Alternatively, we could hash the coordinates that we have, an x and a y, and just keep track of a map. I'll do that for now. That way we're not modifying the grid. So seen neighbors is just an object. We'll say like get hash of tile xy return. So we can just multiply by primes for this to work. No, we can't. Can we? I can say y times height plus x. There. Okay. So this is going to be keys tile hash values doesn't matter. So it's really just a set. So let's just say new set. All right, and we start at the start, which is an object, which is going to make this kind of annoying, but only a little bit. So like neighbors to visit is this, and we're gonna push the neighbors of is concat built in. E equals 3, 4, a dot concat e. Okay, so it returns a new array. Good to know as well. So neighbors to visit is just going to be get walkable neighbors of the start tile. So this dot start dot x start y. Okay, let me just do well true. And we need a path for all this, right? DFS node. Let me think about this. Like path. I'm not sure how we'd call this. I want to look at old code that I wrote for this. Or alternatively, we could just look at DFS on Wikipedia. I feel like this is cheating. Yeah, so here's the code. Okay. So G and V. G is the graph and V is what? The list of visited tiles? No. G is a graph and V is a vertex? Okay. Our vertices are basically implied here. Let's see if I can get this. Like I said, I will look at chat in a bit. So let S be a stack, S dot push V. So this is neighbors to visit. Label V is discovered, so it's this thing that we had here too. And then push the first. This is not how I would do this. I want to look at the old code that I wrote for this. All right, let's see if we can find it in ophog, which I know had something like this. Probably in here somewhere. Let's just search for DFS. Oh, I probably use A star actually. Drat. I just want to look up what the. Want to look at finding the path from this stuff. Done this a bunch of times. Okay, well, let's write around this, I suppose. So we want to get all possible paths. Maybe we don't actually, maybe I should just come up with this myself. Because I can picture everything in my head. I haven't actually written this out. Think about this. Start at a node, push all neighbors. to a list if not seen. And we need to keep track of the path we've had so far, yeah. So path so far. And all we need is the number of these walks. So it doesn't really matter if we include... No, it just matters that there's a path. Yeah, we just don't stop when we're done. Okay, so I don't actually need the path because we're not unwinding this. Okay, and then we need a starting point. So neighbors to visit is going to have node in it. And then while neighbors to visit dot length is greater than 0, neighbor to visit equals pop if CNeighbors has. So if it's not already discovered, then label it as discovered. And this won't work because we need to hash it. And even this won't work. I don't know what node even is. This is why a statically typed language would have been nice for this, I guess. Okay, walkable neighbors, we're going to pass in, I guess it's going to be a point. So I guess maybe we should just deal with points this whole time. Point constructor xy, x equals x, y equals y, and then hash is going to return, well, hash can't be done without a height. Get hash of tile point. Sorry, I will read chat, I promise. It'll happen at some point. Now let's switch to using tiles for all these things. Get tile at point. That'll actually work just fine. And get walkable neighbors at point. Same thing. There. Again, just so we don't have to do anything too crazy here. All right, so what are we passing in? We're going to say we want kind of all of these. We're going to say this dot start. And this is going to be a point. Okay, so pop this off, and then we need to hash this. So get hash of tile. Good. Otherwise, push that tile. Hash tile. There. And there. Okay, now what? Label it as discovered, and then for all edges, push those. Okay? So neighbors to visit dot push or dot concat. No, equals. And we want to concat that with get neighbor of, and it's going to be the neighbor to visit. All right, great. So this is all fine except for that we never check for the end tile. And as soon as the neighbor is an end tile, we're going to return a count from all of this, I guess. Count equals 0. If neighbor to visit dot x equals this dot end x, and neighbor to visit dot y equals end y, then count plus plus. The only way this is count plus plus is if we visited every single. Oh, so we do need to keep track of the path here. Okay, I'm done. I'll read chat now. Oh boy. Yeah, Stevie, live this late, you know. Don't worry, chat is being helpful. Used A-star and Falling Sky. It has at least one question where it was the answer. Yeah, it's very common. I'll say, hey again, Programmer D. And hey, Redman. You don't need to keep track of the path, just number of visits tiles. That is correct, actually, yes. But I need to do so in a way where I can keep track for each neighbor where I came from. So this neighbors to visit wouldn't just be a point. It would be like a point and a number. You're right, though. I should definitely give you a point for that. It would be a point and a distance. Point and then I guess like 0 here. Or like path length. So neighbor to visit. So we're going to have like a point and a path length. And then everywhere we had neighbor to visit is going to be this now. And then the path length is only going to be if the path length matches. And path length equals this dot, where are the walkable tiles? Non-walkable tiles. All right. This might be it. Count equals that, and return count. And we press the button. This is going to break somewhere. Yep, there it is, because I forgot that this. Also, where are the keyboard shortcuts? How do I run my code? Control apostrophe. See neighbors dot push, it's add. And it's not hash tile anymore. It's gonna be point. No, even that's not gonna work. What am I doing? Oh no, that is correct. Now what am I talking about? That's fine. This is what's not fine. Because we can't just concatenate all of these. We need to go through them all. For const n in neighbors. I think this will work. So now we're going to do neighbors to visit dot push point n and path length is going to be path length plus 1. Whoops. Your output is undefined. That seems like I forgot to return something. Somebody's trying to sell me something. Run this code. All right, I'll put 0 now. All right, we got to figure out. We got closer. It was undefined. We went all the way from the realm of every possibility down to 0. So now we're only 2 away. And I'm guessing the thing is here that I'm either not finding a path or that the length is not what I expect. So how about we cut this out and we just say console.log path length. And also, let's log something else too. Non-walkable. It's done. Non-walkable. This is not easy. There. Did it print something? I can't see what it printed. Console? No. Did it print to the... Oh. They don't give me... I guess I'll just run this on my own computer. You have to run it for each direction, but that's what I'm doing. At least that's what it should be doing. So this is called unique paths 3. Unique paths 3. Unique paths the third. Okay, so then we need to paste in this. So we say console.log unique paths 3, and our grid is that. And it's gonna print something. Printed 0. Great. So now we debug it. I should have been something to ease me into this problem. That'd be too easy. All right, so I almost certainly messed up points at some line here. In fact, I already see that I'm shadowing. This should have been called start point probably. And even then, why would I need that? It doesn't need to be passed in here. Right, this dot start point. No, it's just this dot start. So we can get rid of this. This hardly helps us. Makes our code a tiny bit more readable, which speaking of readability, we should probably have added an equals method on point. But that's just a minor detail. All right, so we start with no seen neighbors, and our start is 0, 0, which is that even correct? Yes. And our end should be 2, 2. This dot end. Yep, perfect. Okay, so we're doing well so far. Now we get our neighbor to visit. It is a point and it's a path length. Perfect. We are not at the end, so we get the hash of the tile, which would be 0. Not a number. There's our problem. What's hash of tile doing? Point dot y. This dot height doesn't exist. Oh my god, I didn't save it as class variables. Oh goodness. Okay, there. Now, did I use height or width anywhere else? Yes. So now this is gonna fail. Those are all fine. That's fine. That's fine. Any other widths? No. Let's try that. Getting further. Line 42. Get tile at. If x is less than 0 or it's greater than width, y is less than 0 or is greater than or equal to height, then return null. So that means that the grid doesn't exist? Can't read property undefined of undefined. Okay. Well, let's just run it again. Hey, Kimrick, this is live. Hit blend. So let's hit the pause on exceptions. And then just hit the play button and it should break in there. So the grid exists. Y is not a number. So we've messed up here somewhere. Get walkable neighbor. So where is that coming from? It means I'm not passing in a point to this thing? It's a string. How? Point is 0. That means that, what is n? N is supposed to be a neighbor. Get walkable neighbors at point. I guess even this messed up. Okay, then let's try again. Shoe on head. How about saying shoe on head? Okay. Did this return correctly? No, it didn't. Yeah. Get walkable neighbors at point is failing. It's get walkable neighbors. That returns this. Left, up, right, and down are get tile at. What does get tile at do? Oh. Whoops. This is all wrong. this is all wrong. So if up is equal to exactly 0 is when we want to push this, and what we want to push is going to be x, y minus 1. Aw, man. Okay. And let's just copy this. Let's copy it this way. It's easier to type. So right is +1. Down is +1. Left is -1. Now we don't need this. Why be your neighbor? We're technically neighbors, just very far away. Okay, we'll get there. Just need to cast a spell by waving the mouse in a circle. Oh, it's already on the right line. So what are we doing now? Okay, good. We got actual points. So now we push those points. Good. Neighbors to visit. No, not good. What happened here? Oh, this is... I wanted of, not in. I always iterate with low dash. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. Still returning 0. Deconstruct the point and get walkable neighbors. I have two functions that make this look a little weird. I am deconstructing it here and then passing it into my other function with an almost identical name. That makes this, I think, a little bit hard to follow. So at the end of this, neighbors to visit is now actually a point. Okay, good. So then what happens? So now we pop one of those points off. We get a point and a path length. Good. So far, so good. Get the hash of the tile, 3. That is correct, yes. And add it to our scene list. Our scene list should just, yep, perfect. Okay, good. So far, so good. Now we get the neighbors of that one too, and we add them here. All right, this is totally fine. So what we need to do is make sure we're getting to 2, 2. So let's put a breakpoint here. Oh wait, was it logging anything? No, it wasn't. So it never got to the end. So we need to know why. And maybe that means that we're not getting to any of the neighbors of that one as well. All right, well, let's keep going. We'll put some useful watch values over here. Watch point dot x, point dot y. So we're at 0, 2. So let's just keep going until we get to something good. That's 1, 2. So if we go back to this, we're at over 1, down 2. So we're here. So at this point, we need to get the neighbor that is the endpoint. Oh, but it's not considered a walkable tile. That's why. Whoops. So we can never visit it. Yeah, whoops. So I guess let's just change this from this to just not equal to -1. Okay, now we have an infinite loop. Have I done any interviews? If so, how have they went? Any feedback? I got to the point where I would have done interviews and didn't want a lot of those jobs. So I've done one technical interview in this round of job hunt, and it went very poorly. Oh yeah, I put the quadruple equals there for a second because the first was a triple equals and the others were all double. So I had to change them by adding an equal sign, and I did it by selecting this and not hitting Control KE first. Yeah, but I already fixed that. Horizon, you couldn't solve the question. It went just incredibly poorly. I don't think I solved the question, and I also think I probably seemed like an idiot. And that's what made me realize how just different interviewing is from regular development, where it's like, I don't know. I feel like I am a good developer and a bad interviewer right now, and I need to get to the point where I'm good at both. Hey, Goose. All right, what have I messed up this time? So we have this can't be infinite because I keep making it so that scene neighbors we're only eventually considering ones that aren't seen. So we'll eventually pop all of these off the list. Yeah, I gotta play the game to get to goal. I strongly dislike the game. I recognize the need for it to exist. But yeah, I strongly dislike it. Yeah. And it's not like I haven't done this before. I've gone through all the interview prep stuff and learning all these things, and then yeah, just eventually enough time passes where this doesn't match up with development enough, and you find yourself just like, huh, how do I code DFS again? And it's clearly not too bad, but it's still something you got to get used to. So at some point, okay, we're at 0, 1. We go to -1. That should never be possible. Didn't I stop that from happening? Oh, okay. I see what is wrong. Yeah. So we want this and there. Okay, that's what I think I wanted. I should just compare it against the things I really wanted to be equal with. And let's see. Hey, we did it too. Nice. Take that. Now, how did that work? This didn't work. Yeah, this didn't. We get 2 paths, but they're not the right number of walkable tiles, right? Path length is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I want to enumerate all paths, not just stop when I get to the thing. Yeah, I see how this is supposed to work. So how'd I mess that up? Well, how do I fix this now? So every time so we do need to keep track of the path in order to figure out that this node is not in the path leading up to the node so far. I think that's what we need to do. So each thing instead of having path length should be a set. Yeah, I just want to make sure if I'm ever in charge of interviewing somewhere where I have flexibility that I come up with a better process. And not come up with, just use a better process. I don't need to come up with it. Trying to see it the first time. Took my time. Aced it. Is it possible to get an interprocess communication related question? Yeah, I think it's possible to get anything. And I think you can get unfair questions in an interview too. I had one thing stood out to me. There was a very particular aspect of JavaScript that somebody asked me about in an interview. Although at that point, it's because he ran out of other questions because I had done well enough in the interview. I eventually gotten the job and I eventually accepted the job. But he asked me a question and I thought, there is no way this would like the it's like the with operator in JavaScript. With exists and you should never use it. And so whatever he asked me about was another one of those things where like if you ever use this technique, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot. And he recognized that. He's like, I just want to see if you know the answer to this. And I didn't, and I never figured it out. It was just one of those weird things. Yeah. So let's go fix this by keeping track of the whole path. So path is going to be a new set. Yeah, and the set's always going to be unique. Okay, so now instead of path length, we're going to get the path, which is currently not a thing. Path length is going to be path.size. Yeah. Good. And then anywhere else that we do this up here. So we're going to take a new path. Can we clone a set? You can probably duplicate it. I want multiple different sets. Yeah, I'll probably just have to duplicate it myself, huh? Oh, new set, original set. Nice. Okay. So cloned path equals this. Path needs to be the cloned path, and the cloned path needs to add. Clone path needs to add something. What? Oh, the neighbor. I think that's it. That work? It's not path.size. It's some other. How do you? I don't know how you get the size of a set. Let's just do this. It is size. Oh, it's just not a function. Why would they do that? JavaScript has. Hey, we did it. No, wait, no, we didn't. We still didn't do it. So close. So now the scene neighbors are going to be tracked through this. So each individual path is going to have its own scene neighbors, and that's what we're going to use. So I think what we do is we just change this to path. Right? Is that right? Let's just get this out. I feel like I'm very close to this. Path.add hash tile. This is the tile I want to visit. Did we get there? Did we do it? Is there a path of length 9? How in the world did that happen? Path of length 16. That means that we're going over the same tile multiple times, right? Can we stringify a path? You can't. But I believe path.values was a thing. That doesn't work. Is that an array? Or a function, I mean? I don't know. Maybe he learns. I think there's a difference between like rote memorization of something and actually learning subject matter. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like there's a difference between, let's say in math or physics, where everything should make sense because it's based on just science. It's not something abstract. If and let's make it something easy. Let's say it's something like multiplication. So you have like 6 times 8. If you're like, okay, I know that's 48, but you don't understand the reason why it's 48. Of like, can you do 8 plus 8 plus 8 6 times? Oh, I didn't realize there's JavaScript right now. If you don't understand why it's happening, then when you're given another question like, okay, what's 7 times 8, you won't be able to be like, okay, it's 56. And I feel like that happens in every subject to some extent. Like with programming, you can probably memorize, oh yeah, here's how you call a function, but if you don't understand what's happening, what's going on underneath, you won't be able to answer. Well, you perhaps won't be able to answer follow-up questions. All right, I don't know how this works. New set a dot add 5, a dot add 6, console.log a. That did work. Okay, so then we could have just said path, and this would have been fine. Yeah, there it is. Well, well, well. Now we're getting a 0 and then that? Is that what printed out over here too? No, it's just at 5 and 6. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm pushing. Oh, I am pushing that. Am I not? Yeah, I'm adding hash tile. Whoops. No, I want to do that. I just don't want to. I don't want this here. I want this to be a. No, I don't even want this. What am I doing? That just shouldn't even be there. I don't even need the path to be cloned, do I? Did this work finally? Do I have 2 9s in the list? Can't see them. I don't think so. And unfortunately, it doesn't highlight all of these. Oh, I must be so close. Although I do have the same set multiple times, and I'm not totally sure why that's happening. Oh, because they're in a different order? Some tiny problem. Yeah. Flexing time staples on us. I bet he knows 8 times 8. That dirty dog. I memorized all the way up to 11 times 11, guys. More powerful than you could possibly imagine. All right, I messed up something, I think, pretty basic here. But I'm still not sure what. I'm also not sure. No, that part's fine. Well, we could just do it this way. If path.size equals num-walkable tiles, then count plus plus. So in the end, this should return, 0, because I never got any of the paths that actually have the correct set of nodes. I also have duplicates, which I'm not sure how. 0, 3, 4, 7. Is that even possible? 0, 3, 4. Oh, the path never includes the final thing. And we should break after this, right? No, we shouldn't necessarily break, but we are done. Which I guess is the same as breaking. No, this is not gonna work. I have a way to make it work, so I'm just gonna do that because otherwise it's gonna get ridiculous. We're gonna make a set of sets. This is stupid. Just FYI. Yeah. Set of all paths equals new set. And we'll just put that here. Set of all paths dot add path. And then we return the number. I bet if we just put a -1 here, everything would work. Set of all paths that size. Does it return 2? Return 6. So close. Are these the right paths anyway, though? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, and then jumps to 8. Oh, it's got to stop when it hits 8. That's why. Now we have 3. Oh, is that possible? All right, let's see what those paths are. 0, 3, no, 0, 3, 6, 7, 4, 1, 2, 5. It just stops. No, so we actually can't do things that way. It needs to be a path that ends at the end point. And none of them actually say whatever that number is, which is 8, right? Yeah, they don't. Why don't they get to that point? I'm so close to this. -1. What do they say is the endpoint? A 2? Yeah, 2 is the ending square. So we're going to return that as a neighbor. It's going to be considered walkable. We will never add it to the list, though. But we can add it to the list. And that should be this. That actually be added to the path. So I think I just want this at the end. Yeah, okay, now what do we have? Aha, we have some 9s. Now we delete this. You're so close. Oh, we just need to make sure that that's the final point, right? I have a redundant condition there. Okay, let's take a look through these and see what I did wrong. So we have 0, 3, 6, 7, 4, 1, 2, 5, 8. Yeah, but it never touches these two. How is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This should have been 11. Oh my god, I know why. I forgot to add the 2. Oh my god. I forgot to add 2 at the end of all of this. Count the start and end. Whoops. All right, I'll read chat. Don't rush through questions you know the answer to. The interviewer runs out of easy, immediate questions. I don't think that tip should be taken seriously by anybody. I just want to point out. Shouldn't have just returned that when we ran an end tile? It doesn't matter too much. I either need to have what you said be the case, or for me to only consider paths that are the right length to end at the end tile. So I could work around it in one of two ways. But I'm running into an issue now where we're not going to have any paths of length 11. Yeah. Now, why is that? We count the start tile, we count the end tile, but none of them go over to here for some reason. What are those indices? 0, 1, 2. Oh. Oh no. That's 3. Uh-oh. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. Oh no. Oh, this is wrong. Yeah, this is wrong, right? Is it x is greater than or equal to width? It should have been -1 or something like that. Let me see. Get tile at x plus 1. Let's just try calling get neighbors on this one. No, it's definitely wrong. What is the width and height of this thing? Stop width and height. It's 4 by 3. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so I didn't mess that up. And then I'm guessing the neighbors of a particular tile are wrong. So let's try this. Stringify get neighbors of 0, 0. And then just return. I don't care about anything else. It thinks it is 1, 0, and 0, 1. That's correct. Okay, great. Now let's try of 2, 0. 3, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0. Yep, that's all correct. And now let's try 3, 0. 3, 1, 2, 0. Yeah, these are all fine. What did I mess up? Why are we never finding a path that has those points at the side? And why do paths jump? Yeah, this is a tech interview thing. I got stuck on something small and I don't know what it is yet, and I haven't been able to figure this out. Okay, let's just debug again. Yeah, so if I were me in an interview that's set up how they are, I would be like, all right, we're not hiring this guy. and, and thankfully, I think as I do this more on stream, the pressure is lessening, which is good. But that's because there are no stakes right now either. As soon as we're in vampire territory, there are stakes. So let's see what we've got. We start at 0.00, and then we get neighbors, which is 1, 0, and 0, 1. Okay, so that's all fine. So now we're going to go to one of those points. Now we're at 0, 1. We get the neighbors of that. Neighbors of that are 0, 0, which is already seen, 1, 1, and 0, 2. Okay, that's all fine too. Now at 0, 2, we get the neighbor of that. Yep, that's fine as well. 1, 2, 0, 2. Yep. So far we're fine. Oh, does it consider these to have been... No, this is wrong. Yeah, the neighbors of this are wrong. It's saying 2, 1, and 1, 2. Where's the one to the right? Is the grid not what I think? No, it is. -1 and 0. Not equal negative. Oh no, never mind. That one's a wall, so that doesn't have a problem. Okay, let's keep going. 1, 2. No, that doesn't matter. 2, 1. This is the issue that I'm having. Neighbors are correct. There it is. 3, 1. And what's the hash of that tile? Maybe I hashed the tiles wrong? Oh my god, if I switched width and height, then that's the issue. Hash of tile X is going to be 3, Y is going to be 2. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I messed up. Oh, goodness. This was supposed to be width that whole time. I told you guys it was something dumb. Yeah, there's the answer. Oh. Right, let's paste this in and let's just run code, see if it works. And hit submit. Wrong answer. Output 2, expected 0. Okay, let's try this one out now. Do I have a GitHub? Yeah, I have a GitHub. I don't think there's anything interesting that's public on there. I was making Botland on that GitHub, but it was private. Yeah, well, let's try this now. So now we have a very simple thing, and this needs to have 2 paths. Oh no, it can't have 2 paths. Oh, I see. Okay. So this thinks... Wait, this errored. Didn't error over here, though. It just says wrong answer over here. Wait, what? Did I paste this wrong? No, I didn't paste this wrong. It's happened to me the other time, too, where I'm pretty sure I have the same code in both things. I might be reusing something. I have an array and another array. That part's okay. That's what's supposed to happen here. Thanks, Vlad. Oh, I have another one. Oh my god, I didn't see those. Why are those both blue? The whole point of... Oh, no, they're not anymore. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. That was a minor mistake. Yeah, so this is saying that I have 2 paths here, but that's not actually possible because there's nothing that involves all the 0 tiles and ends at this thing. But we should still be able to figure out why that's happening. So this is 1. So they all start on 1. And then I have to go to 0 or 3. Yeah, they don't end on that path. So how is this? How is this possible? That's weird. And yeah, count isn't needed. All right, I'm gonna print out end. It is 0, 1, that's correct. Check for ending on a 2. Yeah, I'm checking for that though. I'm checking to see if the point we ended up on is the end point. And our path has to be the number of walkable tiles, which maybe that part's messed up. No, that can't be messed up. That's 4, and our path size is 4. Don't consider that a start point can be a neighbor. No, I don't think that's the issue. I obviously have an issue, and I have an assumption that's wrong in my head. So this is clearly there's an issue. There's something I'm not doing correctly. If we're on the endpoint, and at that point the path is the that we. Maybe it's because we. I'll just debug this. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to here again. All right, so we're 1, 0, that's the starting tile. Then we go to 0, 0. And then we go to 0, 1. This is the ending tile. So at this point, our path is of size 3. And we're... I think this just needs to be inside the if statement up here. There. Yep, there we go. Okay, so the issue, what this is saying is, if we're at the end point, and maybe this is what LSRP is trying to say. However, inside this if statement is saying, and we haven't already seen this tile. So since we're using a set, I think this is fine now. I think we can paste this and submit, and I think it'll work. Yeah, that worked. Okay. And it's just slow. Oh man. I wonder if it's slow because it's printing stuff. What if we just got rid of the console.logs and then submit it again? No. Well, actually, we're still printing stuff. But I don't expect it to be that at this point. They probably turn those into no ops so that you don't waste time on printing. Maybe I wonder if I have to clone this path or if I can just pass in the one that we already had. I think we have to clone it because otherwise it's going to be passed by reference and it's going to mess everything up, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I am trying to find a job. I'm not necessarily trying to find a JavaScript job. One thing I'm definitely not looking for is a front end job. I do not want to work exclusively on front end. I don't mind touching it here and there, but yeah. Why is my answer so bad? Not the wrong answer one. I mean, why is the time so long? Faster than only 5% of the online submissions. I probably shouldn't care about this. How many people solve this anyway? 32,000? So I'm very bad. I wonder if we can clean up some of this code too. So let's get rid of some of the functions. Walkable neighbors. I think we're just searching. We're searching all of the paths when we don't need to search all of the paths. And the other thing is, if we ever get to the end point and it's not of the right path size, then that's it. We should stop looking. So yeah, I need to cut those out. How do I do that? Do I do that? Maybe we don't push. Maybe we don't bother pushing the neighbors at that point. Yeah, we should never push the neighbors of that. So what if I did this and I put an else here? I'm not preparing for any specific interview. Also, hey, Paish. Yeah, I'm on pretty late. We're eventually gonna cross into the territory of I've never actually streamed this late before. I think I've probably been online at like 8 p.m. before. Because I know there was some day where I ended up playing Portal with Programmer D, and I imagine that was after work for both of us. So I gotta test out this code. Let's paste this in. Let's get rid of the console.logs, I suppose. Although I don't think these really have an impact. And I didn't get all of that console.log there. So does this one still work? Because if so, it'll be probably slightly faster, because we're gonna stop considering some paths. Yeah, I don't know if it is slightly faster. It's apparently exactly the same. Really? Alright, well, whatever. I'm not going to keep looking at this. Welcome back, Gotik. Welcome back. Thank you for the 32 months. Well. I'll stop with that one, I guess. I wonder if we should just do one more. Switch better than multiple ifs. Yeah, that kind of cleanup I don't think is going to make any significant difference here. Also, I don't even think we could change this to a switch. I think my issue is I'm just searching too much. I need to stop when I hit the end tile no matter what. And this isn't done in such a way that I can easily bail out. Maybe I'm still stuck on this problem. Path size is not equal to that. I think what might help is if I had every kind of search and I see that. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's that I still have neighbors visit. Sorry, yeah, when I said JavaScript job, I meant I don't mind a JavaScript job. I don't want a front end job. Yeah. JavaScript is totally fine. Python, Rust, Golang even. Although I'm a little hesitant about Golang given that Rust exists, but Java, the only language I don't really want is C++, and the only area I don't really want is front end. So don't want. I think everything else is fine. And then there are some things I'm avoiding, but that I wouldn't necessarily mind if I got a job in them. So like Swift, Objective C. I've used Objective C before. I haven't used Swift at all actually. Yeah. So these jobs I'm not really looking for actively. Why no C++? It's header files, man. Header files are the worst. Rust isn't going to stop Golang jobs. Yeah, I know. I know they kind of have a different demographic as far as what they're targeting from programmers. I feel like Golang's main intention is simplicity, and Rust's main intention is safety. Would I go back to Estet? No, I don't think so. Hey, Quando. Hey, Duck Dog. Myself who struggles with problem solving and data structure and algorithm. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, and welcome into the stream. And normally I stream much earlier in the day. Is it mostly used for cloud DevOps? It's mostly used for backend. I don't know if I would say DevOps necessarily. Well, probably could be used for that, but I think it's just mostly backend. Yeah, this stream has been all over the place lately, I think. If you look at the last... I'll do one more problem, by the way. I just want to ramble on for a bit. If you look at the last however long, we were learning Rust for a while, and then I switched into interview prep. We're going to be doing this for the foreseeable future, probably just until I get a job. So if it turns into 4 months of interview prep, I look at a problem and I'm like, oh yeah, just wipe that out and just type in DFS on top of Levenstein algorithm K9 texting. I know that's not what it's called. But yeah, if you go back far enough, you'll see I was actually doing my own startup content. Not anymore. Okay, one more problem. Let's do a medium one. Want to end on a good note here, hopefully. So sub-rectangle queries we already did, didn't we? I have code here. Why is this not? Do I just need to refresh this page? Ah, there's a check mark. Okay. Yeah, we did that one. Apples and oranges, we can't do. That one's locked, locked, locked. Group the people given the group size they belong to. Okay. How's the prep going? It's going really well. I think the only point of the prep for me is to feel more comfortable in an interview setting. I remember still when I was doing interview prep the last time around that yes, I eventually did get to that point where these questions, I just immediately thought, okay, here's the right path to go down, and it was generally a good idea. Whereas right now, I'm still kind of coming up with naive approaches. So there are n people whose IDs go from 0 to n minus 1. Each person belongs exactly to one group. Given the array group sizes of length n, telling the group size each person belongs to, return the groups there are and the people's ID. This is terribly worded. I have no idea what they're talking about so far. You can return any solution in any order, and the same applies for IDs. Also, it's guaranteed that there exists. Oh boy. All right, let's just look at the input and see if it makes sense. So group sizes 33333313. Yeah, I don't understand it. Given the array group size of length n, telling the group size each person belongs to, return the groups there are and people's IDs. Do I still don't get this. Again, if you can't just tell from what this is supposed to mean, what is this now? 213332. Oh, I think I get it. Okay, this is super weird. Okay, so let me see if this makes sense before I say anything else. So 213332, and this aligns to these 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So that means that 0 and 5 need to be in the group of size 2. And then 1 needs to be in the group of size 1. And then 2, 3, 4 need to be in the group of size 3. Okay. Oh, this is dumb. Yeah. Okay, so I understand now what the question's asking. So now how do we do this? How do you come up with that problem? I don't know. So let's see. Actually, this doesn't sound like it's that tough. Am I overthinking this? I feel like you correlate these to their indices. So go through each member of group sizes, and then I guess first we could figure out how many different groups we're gonna have. Figure out how many groups we'll have. Make that many arrays, and then I'll just say go through each member of group sizes. But this time, now that we have the arrays, is slot each person into the correct array. All right, that's it. I'll try this out. I think this is okay. Let's put that there. And we can make this a little bit better. I kind of want to just try with this solution at first. Let's paste this over here. What's this called? Group the people given the group size they belong to. What a stupid name. Snake case. Paste this in here. .js. Put a link to the question in the top. Okay. So go through each member of group sizes. And we're going to say groups is an array. And we need to know the number of unique things that we found. So we're going to say group size set new set, and group size set dot add group sizes. Okay, cool. So now we have a unique amount of these things. Let's just print out the group size set, and let's also, because I want to test this one step at a time. So if the group sizes are these, so here's one potential test case. Console.log group the people, and then the other one was this. So we're gonna have 3 groups in both. Oh, couldn't we just figure out the? No, we're probably not guaranteed to have that. Yeah. So there are gonna be 3 groups in both of these. So we run this on whatever this is called, group the people. Set of 3, 1, and oh wait, no, the first one is. Oh no, this is more complex than that. Okay. I understand. So here we'll have 2 groups of 3 because we found 6 3s. So we actually do have to count these in a map. So group size by count. So if group size by count, if I in group size by count, no, not that. We'll get this. So if it's in there, then we add. Actually, let's just assume that it's in there no matter what. So if it's not in there, we'll just put it in there. Okay, cool. So now let's print that out. So 1 has 1, 3 has 6, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Yeah. And so now we can figure out how many groups we need of each kind by just dividing by its group size. Groups needed. And so we'll say for group size and group size by count, groups needed equals groups needed group size equals by count divided by group size. Okay, that'll work. So now what should print out is, I'm not printing anything, so that actually won't do anything. Print out groups needed. So we need 1 group and 2 3 groups, and over here we need 1 of each kind of group. Then we need to make arrays of that amount. No, can we need? I need to add people in the right way. Maybe we should just add them and then split them at the end. Because we can put them in any order, they said, right? Solution in any order, and the same applies for IDs. Yeah. So able to solve the unique path 3 questions? Yeah, I saw that one. I just did it in a very slow way, both in typing the code and in running the code. I should probably look through the solution of that one, actually. I'll write that down. Look through the unique paths 3 solution to see how I could have made mine faster. All right. So all I have now are these. I think I should slot people in now. Yeah. So we'll say groups. We go through each person and get the index that they'll belong to. I equals 0, I is in group size is dot length. Well, Motoboat, thanks for gifting out 5 subs. And welcome everybody. Very nice of you, Motoboat. Very, very nice of you. Store the different group values in an array and then store the amount of them in a new array. Using a 2D array, you can store the value and the amount of the value and put that many in the new array. I think I'll try this out first. So let's see. When is the technical interview? I don't have one lined up. I'm just prepping, that's all. Okay. So we're going to say from this, we're going to get which group size they belong to. Group size the ID belongs to. And then this is an ID. Equals group size is ID. Now if not ID in groups, groups ID equals an array, and then groups ID dot push group size the ID belongs to. Except that can't be right. No, it needs to be this way. All right, now we print this out. So let's see if I got this right. So 1 contains 5. Yep. And then we have all these that we just need to split up in any order. And over here, did we do this correctly? 1, 0, 5, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. So that's actually the answer because we don't need to split any up. So if we know that we need to split any up, so if group size by count is greater than the group size, then we split them. And this is where things get a little weird, I guess, because we need to keep splitting them. I'll say something like split array into chunks, array, and chunk size. So for I equals 0, I is less than array dot length, I plus equal chunk size, except for that's not how that'll work. We'll just do I plus plus. And then for like j equals 0, j is less than chunk size, j plus plus. Chunks, chunk dot push array I. Yeah. And then chunks dot push chunk and return chunks. We're getting there. Hey Travic, I know 8 p.m. right? Exactly. So this splits it into chunks, and we just need to put this here now. So groups, group size. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Yep. Equals split into chunks, groups, group size. Okie dokie. Let's print this again. I'm almost there. I just have like one more part after this, and I think we're pretty much set. No, bad. Very bad. Yeah, that didn't work. Split array into chunks. I wonder if this is going wrong. So we go over the entire array. And oh, I see. Whoops, there should be array.length divided by chunk size. Okay, and then we need to make sure. Let's just print out the input and the output. Yeah, I should just debug this. I will if this gets a little more difficult than this. Okay, I think I see what's going wrong. I times chunk size plus j. So okay, let's debug. Oh, I just didn't pass in the chunk size? Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. Group size. Oh. Hey, Hip Hop. And yeah, thanks for that, Hip Hop. Yeah, everything is okay. I didn't ask my wife how much I should share with the stream, so yeah, like everything's okay as it can be, I guess. I'll leave it at that. Oh, what'd I just do? Did this work? It did work. Nice. So now all we need to do is collect up all the values and we're finished. Oh, okay. Final groups is an array. And now final groups dot push groups group size. Except for it's concat. Right? Oh, I don't know. We're close. Oh no, that worked. Yeah, that's it. That's the nope, wait. I gotta flatten it. Yeah, I gotta flatten it. Split array into chunks. Yeah, let's just do this here, I guess. Just do for const chunk of chunks. Final group stop push chunk. Else Final group stop push groups group size. Okay, problem solved. That took a long time. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. All right, let's paste this in and submit. Yeah. When the chunking function just split unevenly. Oh, they say there has to be at least one solution. Yeah. So again, my solution is very poor compared to everybody else's, and they don't say how many other people there are. But I could probably get rid of some unnecessary code here. So let's do that. Get rid of all of this. Well, this doesn't really matter. And chunking the arrays, maybe we could do differently. Although I guess we're stringifying arrays as well. Even just those changes should probably make this go slightly faster. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm happy with that. We're done. Wow. Well, if you guys like this kind of content, this is what we're going to be doing for a while until I get a job. And then when I get that job, what's probably going to happen is the stream will get cut down drastically. Like, I know I've already cut it down quite a lot since February because I was streaming 8 hours a day, and then I cut down to like 3 to 4 hours a day, and my internet's been terrible. But I imagine we're still at least a couple weeks away from probably even an interview. And then after that, I don't necessarily need to start a job immediately, but I'll probably want a break. Why get a job now? Money, that's it. I've made incredibly little money. I could probably tell you, I think the total amount of money I made was like $2,200 from the startups. And then Twitch, there was some amount of money. I don't know how much that was. My guess is like less than, I don't know, 30K. That's my guess. I never actually totaled it up. So it's really, really bad, right? Like 32K over 5 years. So yeah, it's purely money. That's it. I'm still selling courses. I'm not adding new courses, and I'm not really advertising anymore. So like every once in a while, there's going to be a sale of one of these things, and that's great, I guess. What about from Adam Learns? Yeah, that's what I'm counting. Adam Learns was actually, I could just go tell you what the revenue is. Let me see. So total revenue from Adam Learns is, give me a sec, clicking login. I don't know if I trust this number, but here's what it says. It's 1,524. And it might be a tiny bit lower. So anyway, let's just say 1,500. And then yeah, Botland made about $700. What kind of courses? There are only 3. They took me an incredibly long time to make. So there's one on Godot, there's one on just general development efficiency. So if you like how I type or use my computer, that's what that course is about. And then Firebase. And so I put a lot of time in all of these. I think they're good courses. I'm just not advertising them really. Did you go through it Unknown? Did you like it? Or need you to stream your new job? And what about a function as a recursive instead of for loops? So the difference between recursion and for loops is not one that can be a performance implication, because you can write anything iteratively as a recursive function and vice versa. And so I don't think it should have a performance impact. I could write the whole algorithm differently to try to cut out search space or operations. Pretty useful. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for even expressing interest in this. Like I said, I feel like they're worthwhile. This is not just me hawking goods here. And I want to get back to doing this. I want to get back to making more. It's funny because the Godot course, I didn't know anything about it beforehand. I used it, and now I'm developing a prototype for a game just to see if it's fun. And I'm using Godot, and it really is going much faster than Botland development went, or even really any other out-of-game engine development that I've done. So like I said, if you like this, this will be the content for the next couple of weeks, and then who knows what. But that's the general summary. Let's go find someone to host. Might be a little weird because it's at 8 o'clock. Never stream this late. It's actually generally the same people online right now who are online when I end my stream. So you know who else is coding? Let's go host Kit. Kit's doing code and chill. I only coded with you guys. Kit's gonna chill with you guys. You're getting double what you bargained for. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, probably in like 12 hours. Yeah. Take care. Bye.